Good night. Good night. Happy Monday. We want to say welcome to Watch a Cock Podcast, episode 6. And we're talking about the fatherless fathers tonight. So definitely, the men are talking, ladies. We want you guys to listen and you guys can chime in. So definitely the comments will be open. The section is open. So again, we want to say good night. Welcome to all our subscribers. We want to say thank you for you guys subscribing to our channel. Definitely like the channel, definitely share the channel, and definitely I want to say shout out to my sponsors. So before we get started tonight, I want to say thank you to Sliderz. They own the corn whole bags. So you know that game that you play, you go to the bars and you see those games where the people, throw in the corn bags and the whole. So definitely I want to say thank you to Sliderz. So you guys can go to www.Ffvibezradio.com, go under sponsors, and definitely get your corn bags, your cornhole bags. Also, they also do the cornhole bags, the machine. He actually built those himself. So shout outs to you, Mr. Sliderz, for supporting Watch the Cock. Definitely. I want to say shout outs to 4B's bartending services. So if you're in Atlanta and you need a bartender company, so 4B's bartender is definitely the bartending service for you. That stands for Buff Beer Brews Beverages. Yes, so definitely. We also want to say thank you to T-Mobile for being one of the sponsors. I'm going to post all the links as well in the description. So you guys will have want a new phone, switch your phone services, different things like that. T-Mobile have internet, all those different things, so you can travel with it. So if you need a internet that you need to travel, T-Mobile is definitely the company for you. So we're going to get right into the topic. My co-host is with me tonight. Shout outs to Mr. Fiya Feelings is in the building. He is
In the building.
he is in the building with me tonight, and we're definitely talking. This subject is a touchy subject, so it's one of those things. It's not really a right way or a wrong way, but it's also a conversation that must be have. We're talking about our children. We're talking about men. We're talking about the fathers. We're talking about the men that want to be fathers to their children, and for some reason they're not getting a chance to. And then we're talking to the ones that are not being fathers to their children as well, that understanding the importance of being a part of your child life, and why is it important, you know what I mean? So many people are growing up without a father, and we don't it don't have to be that way, you know what I mean? So even though we
Yeah, man.
have step parents and different things that are taking roles and they're doing great jobs, but it's always like that um I don't, how do you say it, feelings, like I don't want to say like a need or because some people do well, some people
Hmm.
do well without it, but some people can't cope, you know what I mean? Some people, you'll hear stories of different athletes that we know that went through that they were raised by their moms alone, right? And they were successful. And then you'll hear some men that say, well, my father wasn't there, or I didn't have a role model, or I didn't have, these different people in my life, so it made me go to down a bad road, right? So it's like, how do we, one of the things that, we're always talking about is how do we build a generation to where they're self-sufficient, but given, I mean, I don't really think that you can give somebody everything they need, you know what I mean? Because some people just not going to be happy regardless of what you do, but you can still try to balance. So
Yeah,
we don't
man.
want to
Straight.
lose a generation of children um because of the lack of, you know selfishness, I guess is a word you can say. I think it's selfishness, because if you have a child, it's like, why wouldn't you want to be a part of their child life? And then if you have a child as a mother, why wouldn't you, you know what I mean? So we know that women, because I'm not excusing the women, you know what I mean? Because there's many of guys that I know that want to be a part
Mm-hmm.
of their kid's life, and because the woman and them are no longer together, they kind of play, they put the child in the middle.
Of course.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, well, if you don't want to be, I don't want you, I don't want your girl around my child. I don't, you know what I mean? And things like that. But at the end of the day, it's like, who's suffering? So we're thinking we're punishing the man, or we're punishing the woman, because it goes both ways. So it might be a man that chooses, like, well, if I'm not with you, I don't want nothing to be, I don't want to, have nothing to do with the child.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but at the end of the day, you're suffering your child. You know what I mean? So it's like, what were your experiences? And it goes back to me. So I'll start with me, right?
All right.
Um, my father, my biological father, he was there, but he wasn't there, right? And I didn't blame him. So my biological father passed when I was 15, right? So he can't make up, correct? He can't make up. And but one of the things that I'm grateful for, or my mom can say she's grateful for, her brothers played a great role. Even my dad's brother played a great role in my life. So you can have other influences in your life that can take the role of a father. Then when she met my stepdad, before they had children, he took her with 3 children, right? And he raised us, did everything for us. They're still together. You know what I mean? So that's the dad. That's my dad. So if you really didn't know my biological dad, or I had one, everybody think that's my dad. So it's you know what I mean? It's no different in who can parent. But at the same time, it's like, we long, there's certain times where we do wish as we get older that, every parent or every child want to know their father or their mother, because it goes both ways. But tonight we're definitely talking about men, we're talking about fathers. And then, you know so that was one of the things for me. I made sure that
Mm-hmm.
I always said that when I have kids, even if it didn't work, what I mean? So it's like, nobody get into a relationship to say we're gonna break up. You know what I mean? But if it didn't work, that was one of the things that I made it a vow to make sure that we're great parents, like we're great co-parents. You know what I mean? So regardless of what, it don't have nothing to do with us personally, but it has to do with making sure that both partners is in that child's life. You
Straight
know what I
up.
mean? And understanding. But then there's also situations where some people, they can't be, because maybe that child was in a dangerous situation. So sometimes, even though, you know, most women might run away or whatever, they're they were in a situation that they didn't feel like their children were safe. So even though kids might not understand that, and sometimes later on in life they go down a road, but they don't really know what you were trying to protect them from, you know? So with you now, it's like, how do you what do you think, like, with a situation like that, with where a man wants to be a part of their child's life, but the woman is not wanting them to be, like, how do you see, like, even growing up, like, how did you see that affecting children, or
Mm-hmm. It affect the kids them a lot because in every household, in every family, I feel a father is needed. You know what I mean? Like 95 to 100% is definitely needed because you know what I mean. I see a lot of families that don't have a father. Um, most of the time, like the kids them is shift and go to a different level, go to a different mindset. They do certain crazy things because it's like it's only certain mothers may be so rough to their kids whereby their kids may well, all right, it's like this. All right, good. I was afraid of my father, but I wasn't afraid of him because he used to do me nothing bad. But at the end of the day, I afraid that when I do struminous, knowing I do instruminous. So it come in like that. They got some mothers. they're not so harsh on their kids like a father would be to have them in the line, like us, like you know what I mean. Like I said, your father ain't got beating you, punishing you, and all these kind of things for make you have respect for him or have a little fear. I want me kids them have a little fear for me by whereby them was no like if I do stubbornness, my father is gonna vex. I'm or you know me mother vex. I can't do this or that's it. Otherwise, under it mustn't be a fear whereby they're traumatizing no physical mental way.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that back again as we go through with this, a father really plays a role in a child's life because, like I said, I see a lot of non fathers. I should know home with fathers inside, mothers alone raising the kids, and 25%, 30% of the kids them might listen to their mother or do what their mother say because of what they might see their mother go through. You know, they got some kids gravitate, and then when they get big, they would say, "Yo, I saw my mother raise seven of us by herself, and she did this, she had three jobs, and these kind of things." So you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You get a mindset like, "Yo, a woman is outstanding, or a man should, wherever it is." Certain kids would come like that, but otherwise than that, they got some kids. If a father don't they in that life, they just go out. It's either the son turn some gangster or the girl gone down some road whereby she's selling her body and all these kind of thing because I see this multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Some mothers, the kids them don't got time, especially if the yeah, you make daddy run away, you make daddy this, or you know what I mean, you make mommy. I see them enough time and then the kids gravitate on that and there's how they change their whole life and go the wrong way because daddy wasn't there to put like you was telling me, teach the kids them,
Mm-hmm.
show them the right way. I'm not saying you got to tell me that for tell me sake. We reasoning, you reason me that, but I know as a father, that's what a father needs to do in their kids' life. He needs to be there to show them the ropes of life, teach them certain things, be there at their school, at their parties, their conference, their meeting. You know what I mean? A kid gravitate to that to know that, oh God, my father is always there around for see I play, see I do this, see I do that. You don't know how much joy a kid is feel when a father is in their life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So seeing that a lot, you know what I mean, a father is definitely needed in a child life to be around their kids because like I said, most time you see everything is go hell, you know what I mean, if a father doing their wrong. So I see that as real cruel for a female to know that these kids want to be around their father. All right, we're not together anymore. Well, yeah, you're gonna get time for watching. You could get time for chill with your cheering them or come and see them do whatever you. Once this man doing, they got some man do. They got some man
Mm-hmm.
don't even try call for say them all right, them sick, them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got some man them don't even want to do this. If you've got a man, even if you ain't there, and this child father of yours is paying, showing the love that he wanted us know going on with the kids them because he miss the kids. Love you know what I
That's
mean?
something that I've always wondered is like
TV.
how can you bring a child into the world and don't care? Like, it's like how, like, like how people can don't care, like,
Straight.
how your child is doing, or knowing
That's what I'm
that's,
saying.
yeah.
You don't call in for checkup, you don't call in for war, nothing you just forget. You know what I mean? It's
And they're
crazy.
out with their friend, and we see
Mm-hmm.
that so much, and those are one of the things that it's a conversation that we do need to have, because but at the same time, then they'll have some fathers that they don't be apart, and then when the kids get big, and let's say they're
Aye.
successful, right? So
Aye.
it's like Shaq mom raised him, right? So as Shaq got older and he became very wealthy and very successful, now his father want to be a part. So it's like, where were you? You had the opportunity to be a part of his life, and you choose not to. So, like, how dare you want to come? You know what I mean? And there's so many people like that. It's like, how do you, draw the line? Because at the end of the day, it's still their father. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do you draw the line to where it don't become bitter? You know what I mean? To where you can still have that heart of forgiveness, to where we can say, like, how do we mend it, or how do we fix it before it gets that far? And we're in a society now in this, and things are more public. Everybody's doing podcasts or doing shows or Facebook and different things where these topics are open. Before, it was like a conversation where people didn't really want to talk about it or really share, or it was like something like it's shameful or some, you know what I mean? So it's like
Real things, straight.
we don't need to be like ashamed or hide,
No,
because it's the reality. You know what I mean? And then you.
and not continue this something I always just speak about with my father. I mean, I rate my father upon a level, on a real high level, because he never turned his back on us. Although he was wild within we
Mhm.
doing, he never turned his back. So I can't say he was hungry, clothes less, and all these things. A man, he's take care of your family, take care of your kids.
Mhm.
But he was never supportive
Mm.
to my activities that I like, my sports.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? He was never supportive to that. That's the only thing. And then when I pick up music, and then he get to see the respect in the streets with me now. How
Mhm.
everybody know his son, cause his son well known. You know what I mean? He
Mhm.
was boasting like, "Yeah, it's me son named Fiya Feelings, yeah, thing, yeah."
Mhm.
And I was laughing and said, "Watch out there, no if I go down the border road, you know what I mean? If I went down Badman Road and end up in jail and all these things, it's just
Mhm.
because I'm a little teaching and to how I grew. I say me ain't going to do nothing bad. I ain't going to jail me, want to get shoot me, want to get licks me, want none of them things. I gonna do something in like because I born in the 26th to mid this Guyana independent. I thank God, like I just born with the independence before go and look fit
Yeah.
otherwise. But for see that all my father wasn't there supportively, that's something come back again, like I say, you know what I mean? Fathers need to support their kids within everything that they're doing, you know what I mean? So how you could got a kid and you inky if he like play football, he like play basketball, if you want to be an astronaut, a doctor, you know what I mean? Like
Well, growing okay, so let's go back. So I'm
uh-huh.
me. I always try to
Yeah.
give people credit,
I know
right?
you.
So
I know you.
because okay, back in we time, right? Back in we day, most of the men were hardworking, or even we'll talk back to slavery days and different things like that, right? So they didn't really had the chance to really be there. So even now, like how we know sports is to be and things like that. So even like it's like now my mom, the last two get a lot of stuff that we didn't get because they didn't really know, you know what I mean? Like coming from leaving Ghana, coming to America, you know what I mean? You didn't really know how the American system worked. But
Yeah.
we didn't turn out bad. We could have choose the bad way or whatever. My mom would
Hmm.
always say, like my oldest brother, if she see he going wrong, she would pack up and move like, okay, we going. You know what I mean? That was her. Like, okay, we not gonna stay here because I want better for y'all. So we're not gonna stay here where y'all is in this, like New York. That's how we move out of New York. That's when gangs was rampant in 86 in the 90s, right? Drugs was rampant and them things like that. So that's when my mom said, "Yo, we got to get out of here." So we moved. We moved to Ohio. My oldest brother is still there. He love it, but we moved to Atlanta because I didn't like it. You know what I mean? So but those are the things that parents are have to be wise to, where sometimes we might see our kids going down the bad road, or how do we help them, and sometimes you have to move. So let's
Definitely.
yeah, like we could speak about us when I moved to New York from Atlanta to go to New York. It was like a transition. So it was like Lexi was, you know when we was in Queens, she was good. Once we moved to Brooklyn, it was like fight, 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 fight. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to look at, even looking at your kids and paying attention to the environment. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't pay
Definitely.
attention to the
Yeah.
environment that your kids are in, because we're only thinking of what we need. So it goes back to sometimes being a little bit selfless, or you know what I mean, to where it's not about you,
Hmm.
especially once you have kids. It's no more about you. So sometimes in a way,
Real thing.
I'm glad that I have kids later in life, because I've pretty much done what I wanted to do in life. Like, whatever, play, party, do all that stuff. So when you have kids, it's more of a focus of what my kids need now. So it's no longer what Chandel needs, it's no longer what Leon needs, is what the kids need. So we have to put our kids in different environments, and even if their father might not be there, and there's some single fathers now that is doing it. What environment are we putting our children in to where that they can be, better than us? You know what I mean? And looking, and it's not saying, we can say, well, we didn't get that, or our parents wasn't there. But and I give you a lot of credit, you know what I mean, because you are there, you know what I mean, and been there in their life, doctors, whatever, you know what I mean? And you didn't have to before we had lyric, you know what I mean? So I always go back to like you and my stepdad. In a lot of ways, y'all are a lot similar, because it's like I look at that. I look at the and ladies, you too. Like you guys need to look at the person that you're choosing. You know what I mean? What are they about before we say, because if he can't take care of mine, or he not even taking care of his, it's like, how would I choose him? And if I have kids for him, what, you know what I mean? So a lot of times people don't want to think about that. You know what I mean? If he ain't taking care of his other kids, what make you think he gonna
Yeah,
take
they got a lot
care
of female don't observe those kind of
that he gonna
signs.
take care of yours?
Straight up.
And even past relationship or stuff, and then I would ask guys that, like, are you part of your kid's life? I would ask those questions. So it's like, if you don't know where your children at, how your children eating and stuff like that, I don't want no kids with you, because then I know if I was to have a child with you, you will leave me high and dry.
Real talk.
You know what I mean? So we got to go back to where even our being selfishness, we got to take away. It's no longer about us. So it's like, how do we make the generation better? And we have more now, to where, forgiveness is a big thing. Like, okay, hey, it didn't work. Hey, I messed up. Hey, I wasn't there, or whatever. But at the same time, you can be part. You know what I mean? And sometimes we even got to go back to our, maybe some parents need to go back to our children and say, hey, I apologize. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to be a dad,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Because
real
you
thing.
didn't see your dad there. A lot of men, or I say fatherless fathers, their fathers wasn't there, you know? So it might have been a situation, but it's like, okay, and I give you credit. I always give you a lot of credit, because good night, Anika. Good night, Michelle. And you guys can join in. You know what I mean? And some things are the things that you guys are dealt with. Past relationships and things like that. But we're trying to, men talk to me a lot, and give me different things, because I have a friend that he's dealing with that. So he has a daughter, and the mother, it was a whole situation with the mother and him not being together. But then when he had this child, you know what I mean, um they're no longer together, but it was like a fight, right? So now that the child is older, the child is like having resentment towards the mom, because she thought that the father wasn't playing the role, when it was the mother that was blocking the father from being there because she was angry. You know what I mean? So then we put our children to now deal with all these other mental situations. You know what I mean? So like, how do you distinguish between, like, what's right? Is my daddy fault? And it's not to blame your
Hmm.
mom or to
Hmm.
blame your father. You know what I mean? Like I said, people deal with different things different way. We deal with hurts different way. But at the end of the day, what we need to be paying attention to, especially when you have children, is how it's affecting your kids. So I might
Definitely.
not like you,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if I have to respect you as the parent of my child. You know what I mean? So I don't have to, agree with your whole lifestyle and what you do, but I have to respect that you're the parent. So that's where it comes back to where it's no longer about me.
Nope.
You know what I
It's all
mean?
about the kids.
Yeah. So tonight is definitely, it's always a hard topic when it comes to dealing with children, and bitterness and anger and stuff like that. And I always tell people, it's like, that's self-development and learning the
Hmm.
difference, you know what I
Hmm.
mean, to like, how do I better myself, but how do I, seeking help and a lot of things like that, and talking to somebody. There's so much help, you know what I mean, for people. And even if you wasn't raised with a father or raised with a mother, you can still be a great person. You know, you can
Yep,
show,
yep.
like me, I'm like that. I'll show you I can still succeed with you or without you. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's still your mother, it's still your father. You know what I
No
mean?
joke.
But we
Real
don't
thing.
want to keep raising, we don't, even for women, women don't want to keep raising children by themselves. You know what I mean? So even if you have a great stepfather, whatever the situation is, if you have a biological father, you know, let me read what Nika said. Nika said, you have some moms who are angry and put kids against their dads. Like, let men be in their kids' life regardless of how you feel, because at the end of the day, some kids grow up being angry. Yep, I was just saying that. So it is not about you, it's about the kids. Exactly. You know, so many women do that. They put the kids against the father,
Yeah, that's so wrong. You know,
or
I could be a witness to that.
yeah,
You
and
know
they
what I mean?
keep the kids and they tell them all these bad things. It's like,
Share the life, people. Share the
you know
life.
what I mean? They tell them all these bad things about their dad, but and then they, like I said, they grow up. So you guys don't have to be together. You know what I mean? And the men are talking. So these are men talking like, we don't have to be together. I have a life, you have your life. You know what I mean? I just want to be a part of my child life.
Straight.
Unless that person is abusive, you know what I mean? That's the only way I could see you not allowing that man to
Mm-hmm.
be a part of his child's life.
Word.
You know what I mean? So there's situations where other people that I know, that wasn't a healthy relationship.
Yep.
So that parent can't trust that
And
other parent.
and sometimes I ask myself, but remember, knowledge is it teach each one. You know what I mean? And upon seeing certain thing, I get for overstand because, like I said, I been through that already, and I was like, when I hear from my kids when they told me that or what their mother told them, I was like, what? I know. I said, Judge, I know, and I could remember my mother always tell me keep receipts. You know what I mean?
Mm,
If you're gonna send little bread, go through the post office, get your receipts or whatever, you know, because time gonna come, people gonna say this and that. But young days, you know, are days,
yeah.
butterfly, but what hands bite me. But what I'm trying to say is that I just wonder why they do that. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, is would you rather a man would trying to do for his kids or a man would don't give a damn about the kids?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. You don't get no big 100,000, 300. Remember, it's me cheering them. Me looking after you. And there's the next thing to they have a lot of females whereby when the man giving the kids them money, they take him money, doing all the stupidness. But we ain't got none of them. Just saying. I used to give, I doing what I doing. I going in the bush play, making sure I give him me cheering them a lifestyle back. You know what I mean? I
Mm,
doing because once I got to this one thing with me, I'm not greedy, and I can't. If I greedy to me cheering them, God, something definitely wrong to me. So definitely, I used to do what I gotta do. It might not be every week,
mm-hmm.
but when I drop a bag, it's a bag. When they hear me that, oh, I never do nothing for them. I
Mm,
was like, I never do nothing for you,
mm,
and I lose on she. I said, girl, what? I going back down. I could have get malaria and all them kind of thing. I could have drunk them both, all them thing. Just trying to do that. It won't look this kind and then this. And I said, yeah, I know. You can't vex with cheese, which your mother telling you shit.
mm. To a certain
And it
extent.
and it to a certain extent, you know what I mean, and it hurts, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because I could understand if I was a nobody, like you always say, a loser. Me,
Mm-hmm.
no, I did what I gotta do, but I free. I could talk about my story. You know
Yeah.
what I mean. At least my kids and me know at a better place. God, it was long ago,
Yeah.
and we good now cause I shine them certain things, show them certain, and they get for understand what's going on in life.
Yeah.
But you know when you're young and you're little,
Yeah.
your parents or you say your mother is going to manipulate your brains move faster than when you're in your teenager age whereby you got common sense with certain things.
Yeah.
And these all them is get past with certain things. When them catch the children like done them tell the children all them kind of thing that mess the children them head up. Then the children got no for feet, got wrong looking to their father, cussing them father and all that kind of thing. This time the man ain't do nothing.
Well, to a certain extent, because sometimes, men always say, well, so I'm going back to what you said. You said,
Hmm.
when I would get it, right?
Hmm.
So remember now, these kids are with this mother 365 days. So it might be a month or 2 months before you send. So when you said, well, they spending the money on the child, but what about all the other days that you didn't send that they had to find it,
Hmm.
right? So I hear men say that a lot. Well, when I send the money, they're going to spend it on themselves. But all the time, they're spending their money on them, on the kids. So men can't say, you know, men can't say what she's spending money on herself when most times, the women is spending all of their money on those children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So however the money come in, she might say, "Hey,
How much relationship really end because the man was wrong? We would start to like what 90% of the
mm,
relationship. It would be men that mess up in a relationship whereby it reached to this extent
mm,
whereby now you're there around your children or you're there around your family whereby you know you're doing the needs that you have to do
mhm,
as a man, fulfilling it every day,
mhm,
7 days a
mhm,
week.
mhm,
So we come down now, boom, the relationship done. I got me where you want me want you.
mhm,
It's not in a case whereby me you done.
mhm,
So I gotta look after my kids. All right,
mhm,
good. If it's every week I get paid, every week I bring in money and I give my children them.
mhm,
If it's every 2 week, depends on how the bookings come. I bring money, or depends how a man work would be. Man bring the money and get the kids.
but they still have to live.
We understand what we're trying to
Yeah.
say. When you start to the mother spending money all the time, this is what I say. How much, right? So much relationship. How much time, right? Is the man fault is make this happen?
Mhm,
Mess up in the relationship, make them got for separate. So
mhm,
obviously we done.
mhm,
I ain't gotta give you no money. It's me kids them. So
mhm,
it depends on how the money come. I give my kids.
mhm,
But if the money come at the said moment, you gotta fulfill the gap there as the father because we're not together anymore. Remember, I we going I look in both sides. I
mhm,
mess up, I can't there wrong, no more for stand for do the things them 7 days a week how I gotta do with my family. Make sure food in the house, whoever bills pay. No, we done.
mhm,
So you move on. You got you people them know. You're
mhm,
doing your thing. Obviously, it's just my kids I gotta look after. I don't have to look after you. But at the end of the day, you still got to fulfill in the gap there, like how I would be there
mhm.
7 days a week. So when I hear you start to all the time your mother spending money, yeah, but there's it's not no scene that we make you guys spending your money. It's just that we're not together. So we want I do. I I can't I I can't. I looking at the mid so depends on how this money coming, right? Viewers and subscribers. So how this money coming. This how I got to deal with it. So it's not in a case like we is really mindfully I got for doing what I got to do because we there is all that we mess up in the relationship.
Mhm,
So we done, you know what I mean? You doing your thing, we do you. If it was like if the kids was on we level, look, before I left Guyana, I got a big woman friend in Lynn. Them used to tell she started the child father take the kid from she and mine and looking after the kids.
mhm,
Boom, mostly because she's going to do she little car. She got a she daughter about 20 something. She's done a grandmother and them things. So she said she's enjoying her life. She said she ain't there for no me there for no more children feelings. I there for enjoying myself.
mhm.
But this man now, just because I enjoy myself, he can call me and tell me that oh he can't take care of this kid. He ain't got enough money to take care of this child no more. He want I chip. You know, so me, I you take this child away from you take this child and say you want to look after your child. No, because you see I there enjoy me life. You gonna come and tell me that oh you can't do enough for the kid no more.
No, and she should chip in.
You know, no, but we understand, right? Yeah.
She should chip because it goes, okay, he have the kids, so now he's the 100% dad, right? So
He
she,
was big and bullshit
it
and
don't
take
matter.
away and say, "Yo,
It,
I gotta
okay,
look after my
even if,
child." Yeah,
and
you do your
still,
thing.
and she should still,
Right?
is
She
it
gotta do
goes,
what she
it
do.
goes both ways, because it's like, I know other men that are single dad that took their children, and they're women that's paying child support. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So women can pay child support too. You know what I mean? Because I know plenty of guys that did it and didn't ask, and some of them filed, some of them didn't file. You know what I mean? So it's like it's no different. The gap, the size is not different because it's man or woman. You know what I mean? It's whoever have the child most of the time, of course, is the parent, like the
Okay.
guardian, the full guardian, have control of everything, right? But it doesn't mean that the other person can't chip in. So it's like the same thing that she gotta live, she gotta, but once a month she can say, hey, I'm gonna send this to you,
Mhm.
regardless of what we break up, even though you took the kids, I'm living free. She can help.
Real thing you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it don't have a side of who should pay or who shouldn't pay. It's just that that it's yours. So regardless if y'all not together, you can help. You know what I mean? So it's
So like how we say the fatherless fathers now, right?
yeah.
So what about now about the men then that is entering a woman life that already have a kid,
Yeah.
and people would be condemning them and say, yeah, you going in woman life for mind step children and all these kind of thing. You know what I mean? How you no, we're not even looking for such man and certain things, but it's something that does happen in life.
Yeah.
If a man, and I don't know about the other Caribbean country, I could speak about my country, Guyana. It's a thing whereby anytime a man go in a woman life that have kids, them is always try for bashi and say you're mining step children and you're this,
Yeah.
like something wrong if you enter a female life that have kids and you decide to there with this someone, you as the man in the house and you looking after these kids. Why is it a problem with people when something like that happen? Now, a lot of men they say, oh, not me minding nobody children, me in this, me in the as you grow older, you just get wiser with certain things and you just know certain things. I feel like when you're too and I got big people that still think like
Right.
cheering, but at the end of the day, it's like, come on. Remember, if you love the cow, you gotta love the calf. We understand certain fathers are jankro, certain fathers are sperm donors. We know what's going on with these men nowadays days. But I believe if I enter a woman life, you understand, it depends on how the father is treat the child. Even if he and the woman that I'm with is not together anymore. Now, is a case I see enough time, even not with me, but multiple people whereby some fathers do look after their kids, although they're not with the mother. And then they have some fathers does not give a damn.
Mhm.
So it's like that. I see man then woman life and boom. Them say no, the girl father send some money buy your clothes or whatever. And I see the within we.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Marcus do we got do whatever is it is only
Mhm.
such man is a whatever. But otherwise and you know what I mean? I love my family, and I believe if I enter a woman life that have kids and I love her, especially we married and all these kind of thing, it's not a problem, or it should be a problem if I'm taking care of the family as is my family. Why some people is just run down the road and like say, you're minding people this and you're minding people though. You know what I mean? It's
Because
like
because they're childish, and let's just be honest, right? And be in the beginning
God,
of
we
the,
talking about fatherless
yeah,
fathers. We talking about the kids them that their father doesn't be around them, but
right.
somebody full in that gap.
And it's, so if you remember in the beginning of the
I telling you.
podcast that I said, um my biological father, when him and my mom separated, he chose that he didn't really want to be apart, right? Because him and my mom wasn't together. But his brothers took up the role. My uncles took up the role. And then when my mom met my stepdad. My stepdad took her with three children, right? Two was her biological, and she used to raise her niece, which was, my sister. Everybody think is my sister, but she's really my cousin. But he took her with three children, right? And they didn't even have children yet. So before when I, before we had got separated, Lexi dad and I would tell him, I was like, well, whoever don't want to be, my children gonna have some great stepfathers, but that's not the thing that you want to
Straight,
say
of
to
course, of
somebody,
course,
right?
of
But
course. No man, yeah man,
but
yeah.
that doesn't mean that we have to be together, or like I'm gonna hate you if we didn't work out or whatever situation is. And it's like, you and Mark get along great. So yeah, I have y'all own bond and different things like that. That respect as fathers. Same thing, Mark is give you full authority. You know what I mean? So Mark is in Lexi life and he's doing what he have to do. He's not there every day because he's, driving trucks and whatever. You know
Definitely,
what I mean?
yeah
But
man.
financially, make sure she's good. You know what I mean? So, but we always talk
Rude boy,
about,
big up yourself, my brother. Big up yourself on the checking on the
um,
YouTube.
we're not talking about we're talking about financially, yeah, but financially there, but certain things I make sure that he be it. It's the same way before I had Lexi. Mark had a daughter, and she was, to this day, she still calls me mom. And she just had her 16th birthday, invite me to her party. I couldn't go because I was work. I make sure he go. Stuff like that. If she and him beefing, she still called me. The mother and I now have a good relationship. She'll call me if she misbehaving and stuff like that. So even though that we're not together and I have a whole new family, I'm still part of that child's life. You know what I mean? So it just depends on your maturity level. You know what I mean? Monica
Monica
said,
drop something
yeah,
again.
let me see. She said, my dad died and I had a stepfather who did everything for me, even when they broke up. You see, same thing I said. He still looked out for me. If you love the mother, you have to love the child, and everyone be respectful in the situation. Exactly. That's what I was
Mhm,
just saying.
mhm, mhm.
Even though Lexi dad and I are not together,
Uh-huh.
his daughter, his
Straight
16-year
up.
old daughter, his nieces, them still call me auntie. They still show me that respect. You know what I mean? Because they know that's who they know. So regardless of what, Natalia comes here and, embrace you. We all went traveling together. You know what I mean? So it's like that. It's like one night, one night we went out, right? And he was no, that night he wasn't playing, and all of us showed up at the same club together, Mark, everybody. And then my friends then was tripping, even like, we don't have no problem, we are adults, right? So we understand our relationship and our dynamics. Me and feelings didn't break up our relationship. That relationship was over. So that respect has to be there. We have children, so you can be a part of your child's life and somebody else can raise your child. But that's one thing with Mark. He's give you your respect and he gives you full authority. Be there, you gotta listen, whatever. You know what I mean? So some parents don't do that. Some women and men, because they're not with that person, they might say, well, you can't beat my child because you's not the father, or you can't
Foolishness.
discipline
Yeah.
my child because you's not the mother, and stuff like that. So the other people create the situation or cause the child to be disrespectful. So why other people have a problem with that,
Yeah
or
man.
or why is, so going back to what you said, why they have a problem with that? No, that shows that they're not a full man, because if they understand a full of how to be a real man, it don't have nothing to do with, if you're in that person's life, you should be coming in to take that role and be that responsible person in helping to discipline and helping to do things with them. So if you know that you are not ready for that, or no, you don't they don't have to choose that life,
Of
right?
course.
But you shouldn't knock another person because they want to do that, or make, this is why I don't like some of y'all Guyanese people, because
Talk the things.
I only hear those stupidness
Mm-hmm,
from,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
we people. Let's just be
No
honest.
on a real life
Yeah,
level, straight up, you know what I
everything
mean?
is a joke, or this little boy I teaching this stupidness. That stuff is so stupid that you cannot be with someone that have children and raising stepchildren. Yes, my stepfather raised me and did a damn good job and still do for me and do for my
Yeah,
kids. You
man.
understand what I'm
It's just
saying?
showing the levels of things, you know what I mean?
Your
Because
level of
we, right,
maturity.
that's it. Because we live in a society whereby we live in right and wrong, we live in love and hate, we live in pain and joy. These are the things that come with life. So obviously, there will come a time whereby situations like this that the real fathers will not be around. They got a lot of men out there are cowards,
Yeah.
are wimp when it comes to being a father. And it's simple. Being a father is not nothing whereby you got to fetch no big burden on your back. Like I said, depends on how you really swing your wheelie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you's a man with us like guy and hit without rubbers all over and you pregnant,
Right.
impregnating people, whap. Obviously, a time gonna come whereby you're gonna feel a pressure.
Yeah.
But if you consider it yourself and know when to hit and know how to hit people and these kind of thing, you won't reach into certain situation. Then you're not gonna feel no squeeze. But being a father is a joy, is it?
Man.
You growing a child and you hearing the child say, "Yeah, daddy," or whatever the case. And like I said, like I was saying, even not with the real fathers, when them and they in the life of Cedo, I, the pain them is their feeling when they see the next man is there doing, but
I
then them
know.
is one running and playing this game like if they I there for you now and that. No,
Yeah.
there for them from the starting. Why is until when you see things happening with other with the next person, then you start carrying feelings and all them thing. It's like when I was with me first wife.
Mm.
Now obviously like we talking cow love the calf. So any woman I know I there with is women that is look just like you.
Mhm.
My kids could call you and say, "Mommy, wherever we call them, you know what I mean? Mommy
Mhm.
could send this or whatever."
Mhm.
It's up to you and just stand out just like a woman or just stand out like a man too. When you're in a man life as a woman and you have kids, and just like I did in a woman life and she got kids, Lexi come and said that the piece of 20, 40, whatever, I got it
Mhm.
at giving shit. If I ain't got it, she don't know the order.
Yeah.
Good. So it's just like that. She used to carry feelings because after that time now, the woman, me first wife looking, buying little thing for me daughter think, "Eh, I don't want she doing this, I don't want she do it." Because why? You feel that I should have been in some position with you at the said moment, or you must be feeling some jealousy with. So I don't know where's the case, but was a whole scene.
Mm.
And it's just because she looking out for the kid. She is not nothing.
Yeah.
She love me,
She
she love the
took
kid.
exactly.
Come on, you know what I mean? Why is that a whole situation? So it's just like that, you know what I mean? They got some people is just they got fathers out there that is carry feelings just like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's foolishness. If you know to yourself that you want this, we speaking about the fathers, then if you know to yourself that till when you seen this joy, if you was there from the very first start, you would feel the joy
Yeah.
or know it is. Because I did wrong Lexi from saying she's old.
6.
You know what I mean? Look how she get big, 11.
Mhm. Yeah.
From the first time she see me in this woman they're dealing viewers, she called me daddy. And all of the others gravitate and grab me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it come back to the women them just know who you're picking to come in your life
Correct.
also.
Correct.
Not because we talking about, you know what I mean, a father full gap in a stepfather full gap in the real father benefits and we gotta do, but you still got for mind because they got a lot of person out there. Their kids are suffering because of of the fault with their picking of their partner to be in their life, to be wrong, especially a girl child and boy child too. So it come back to that too. But once you know you got a real gene, you like that wise and know going on, you don't got no problem for he raising you kids or talking to you kids, putting them in order and them thing because like see know how I stay. I don't beat I don't beat none of me that to them. Me son them is getting licks. I don't knock me girl child them. There's one thing with me. I
A-
is holler on cuss.
and it's the girls that needs the
You
whipping.
know what I mean? This is why it's here all the time from the mothers.
Mhm.
Why the girls them need the whipping. But this is how I just stay. I just don't like knock me girl children them. So you know what I mean? This how it is with me. With Lexi don't know when I get cross and she hear it and I use two bad words. She's done going, she cloak up and she's done saying that daddy vex. Daddy vex by. She know when I vex. This is the main thing. So she could never start out, you know what I mean? I go down no wrong road with she because they're not how I grew. and I would never go down them road. I love me family. I love my kid, and I don't say nothing with step. There's one thing in me. I don't
Right.
implicate step treaders, window louvers, nothing. I don't implicate. I say my kids, them, my daughter.
Right.
You understand? Straight up, Sean.
And that's the same thing
I
with,
don't play them game.
my dad. No, that's why I said, if you didn't know, or you're now hearing this podcast, if you didn't know that wasn't my dad, you would never know that wasn't, my biological dad. You know what I mean? So we're talking tonight with the fathers, but we're trying to build the gap.
Of
So
course.
where um fathers are taking a role, and mothers allowing the children to see the fathers, as long as they're safe, right?
Straight
So
up.
let's be honest, because again, I'm not gonna put my kids in a dangerous situation to where that they're going to be abused.
Nope.
I'm not gonna do that.
Nope.
I don't care. So if you can have supervised visits, right? So you guys can go to the courts, you know what I mean, and have a meetup place to where you have one person meet up. Yeah, you don't know they,
Straight. It's serious.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
So we're gonna have a safe place where you can meet your child and have your time with your child, and the child goes back home. So that's gonna be your time. So it's not until I know, because if you are alcoholic, if you do drugs, and you know what I mean, and
Yep.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe your partner that might abuse my child and take it out, you know what I mean, because maybe they don't have kids for that man, and they might ill treat my child, or maybe you had the child in the midst with them, and there's different reasons, there's different situation. But I'm not gonna put my children in a midst. It's like Lexi Father, I told him the same thing. When you ready, whoever your mate is, you know what I mean, I need to meet them so that I know that I trust you. You know what I mean? So I don't have a problem. And whoever you choose, you got to know who you choose, because he know my head ain't right. So he not gonna put my daughter in no situation
Real
to
deal.
where she's gonna be abused. And once the kids get of age, they can talk for themselves. You know what I mean? But one of the things is, we're not trying to. This is not a segment to bash anybody, but we're trying to make sure that some of this little boy stuff, y'all need to grow up. Men need to grow up and take on their responsibility. If y'all can be out every day, and you don't know if your kids eating, you don't know how your kids growing up, don't come when your kids get grown and then want to play that role. That's
Straight.
not cool. You know what I mean? But if the mother is the one that's hindering um the child, I know several situations like that, to where this person is back and forth in court, and trying to see his child,
Mm-hmm.
and the mother, she's just like, no. And everything that she could do to destroy him, she's trying everything to destroy him, because him and her not together anymore. But the only person you're hurting is that little girl. You know what I mean? So it's like, we don't want to be to that place to where, it's like, whatever you need to deal with,
Just deal with it.
ladies, you got to deal with it. You
Real
got to
talk.
deal with your anger. You need to forgive yourself, because not only that, you're blocking you're blocking somebody to come into your life for you. Sometimes we just got to move on. You know what I mean? So it's like, if we hold that anger and that bitterness inside, no, they might be a man that's willing to come in to help you, but you'll never see it, because you're so angry. You know what I mean?
Straight up.
So it's like, so the men want to be, most of the men want to be a
Mm-hmm.
part,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we're speaking on behalf of the good fathers.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? That is
Big up all the
feeling, yeah,
responsible fathers,
that's feeling the pain of not being a part of their children's life, that wants to be there and do the right thing, and the mothers that is not giving them the chance to do that. You know what I mean? So for all of those that have children, find some peace, not because of you, but because of your child. Your child, and somebody has said, you don't want your child to raise up and to be resentful of you. And I know few people, once their children get to a certain age, and they start finding out that it's not the father's the problem, then they start look at you differently. So then the disrespect come in. You know what I mean? So What else you guys is like how what advice do you have for even men and women that's listening or that's gonna go back and listen to this, that we're making them aware, like, how your kid's suffering, and go back to even how you suffered. So
Yeah,
for
yeah,
you, you might have been a child that your
straight up.
parent wasn't there. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
sometimes, they always say like hurt people.
Yeah, man.
So it's like, so
It's a deep situation that it is right now, because even I could remember, me, my mother was the one that used to tear my backside, you know what I mean, with certain things.
mm,
And I used to get real licks. One, I think two times before I ever beat me in life,
mm,
but all the time is me mother. Then one time I asked my mother, I said, "Mama, me why you used to beat me like that all the time, son?" She said she used to, take it out with anger with daddy
mm,
because of what he used to do.
mm-hmm,
So, what I mean, my advice, what I mean, fellas, and even females first before even I go to the fellas, what I mean, like I just said, we live in a lifetime in a society whereby you can't want joy without pain. You know
mm,
what I mean? You can't want happiness without sad. These things are the things that come. What I'm basically trying to say is that even if you and the man in get for go too long in a relationship, that's how it goes. It's not every relationship lasts as long we want it to, but life have so much things, so much ups and downs. We just have to live with certain thing at the end of the day. But it's not a situation whereby because this man may be cheating on you or whatever is the case, ain't treating you good on these things. Then you got this child now, you resemble the father, and then you're gonna taking it out on the child because you're seeing if you're seeing the father, and then there's how you even hear. I could recall women saying that, "Hey, you look just like your father." Yeah, yeah. And like, what I mean? Stop taking out anger on the kids because of what the father did. You know what I mean? It's not the kid's fault.
yeah,
You know what I mean? We never did nothing. You know what I mean? Is he do we got do I got to resemble my father? I gotta look like my daddy. You know what I mean? And the fathers them, you know what I mean? The men them, you does you have to know the 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 the, the pain where you're causing and the drama. Even if when you don't do this thing, you could go and just reason this woman and say, "You're right, and I sorry, whatever happened, man, I never meant it." You know what I mean? But you don't know it is. I just ask you forgiveness or whatever the case. Cause sometimes, sometimes them things always go to, especially if you know you was real wrong in the
yeah,
situation. Because we as human being, and sometimes we act out with certain thing that we can't ever control ourselves because of pain, jealousy, hurt, and all these kind of things. Especially when you love this person so bad and this person mess with you, certain people could really abstain the little, the bang. They got some people just act out foolish in all different kind of ways, but you just got to be strong. So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We all know relationship don't go wherever it is. We all know you're not gonna end your child life. These how things is go, but at the end of the day, accept your fault, accept your wrong. And just try for mend where you could mend, because you don't know on the other side what really occurring, how the person feeling with what you did, and then you're acting like if you don't do nothing and these kind of things. So we's human being, we's not robot.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's all about us showing the love, showing the respect. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you did tell me a time. You know what I mean? Because words got molding power. So you know what I mean? People crying on you every day. People talking bad about you every day. After that time, you just get weeds done. So
mm-hmm,
if it's a case whereby you could just apologize with where explain what I say, especially if you know you did real, if you was the person who did real wrong, because you don't know how the person feeling at the said moment there. But if you know you don't do nothing, well, all right. But
right,
you know what I mean? There's it. You know what I mean? Just be by your kids them side. Try for what I mean, mend with wherever you mend. We all know we all know none of we imperfect. We can do certain messed up thing, but if you got the time and the chance to mend where you could mend, just do the cause you would see a big difference within your child life. You know what I mean? Expect a car like we say is not about we, it's about
mm-hmm,
your children.
yeah,
So it come back to I doing stubbornness, making you got take it out on me child. Says now we is me.
right,
I got to think about the repercussion with my child. What gonna happen? I gotta think about if me and the around me child, how he gonna grow up, how she gonna grow up, what she gonna turn to, what he gonna turn to. Them is the things. It's not me. I done a growing ass man. It's them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's all about if me father didn't know them kind of situation there, I feel I would have been some way further in life, like more education wise and more like some lie or something more than a musician. Not saying musician is not my joy or
Yeah.
whatever, but just saying
Yeah.
you never know what it could be if he or some big
Was
Guyana
more
number one
supportive.
football player, or yeah, it could be something else. But thank God his music hold me and just guide me. But yeah, man, it's just all about that, you know what I mean? And I ain't know enough time with he's crying, he's telling me I should have really taken it. I said, man, daddy don't cry, don't speed. It is what it is.
But you
It,
see, the thing of it is, at least
you know,
he acknowledged,
that's what I'm trying to tell you.
and that's a good thing that
That's what I'm
he
trying to tell
acknowledged
you.
that,
Once you do that,
yeah, I didn't
yeah,
know,
man.
or I could have been, and I wasn't, and I'm sorry. So again, like he said, sometimes it's just a simple apology,
Apology, man. Yeah,
and
man.
sometimes even for the
None of
men
we ain't right. None of we ain't perfect.
that have wronged women, you know what I mean? And sometimes all that woman want is a simple apology. A lot of times the men don't want to acknowledge that they've done wrong, you know what I mean? Or maybe you was misleading, or maybe whatever. But most times women
Straight
move
up.
on, and
Straight up.
most times women move on and they can forgive, and they move on with their life. But you can be a part of your child life. And then for the women, same thing, you know what I mean? Sometimes we need to give an apology. You know what I mean?
Also, real thing.
Yeah. And
Yeah, man.
say, hey, I might have put your kids against you because, right? Because that's what we're speaking about too. I put my kids, and be real with your kids and say, hey, your daddy was there. Yeah, I messed up. And sometimes we do gotta ask our kids for forgiveness. So it doesn't have, because I'm the parent, I don't have to ask for forgiveness. You know what I mean? So even as parents, we can ask our children forgiveness and say, hey, I was wrong. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is create better people. You know what I mean? We want our children to be better than we were. We want them to go farther in life. You know what I mean? And sometimes those little things can hinder them.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like you said,
Straight up. Yeah,
if
man.
he
I
was
see
there,
it.
I think I would have been in a
I
better
see it.
position than I am, that I didn't have to struggle. So, but the great thing with you and most men, I hope that are listening or going to go back and listen, that they can say, you know what, because of what I didn't get, or women, you know, because of what I didn't get, I'm gonna make sure my kids get. So I'm gonna do my part. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do my part as a mother. I'm gonna do my part as a father to make sure I'm present. I might not can't be at everything, just depend on your work. But I'm gonna make sure when I can, I'm gonna be there. You know what I mean? So for all of you guys that have children, it's not about us, it's about the children at the end of the day. Like I said, as long as it's not abusive situation and your children are in harm's way, but there's many different programs that you can do to get your children the father figure that they need. Even if you decide that you don't want to be with someone at this time, there's many resources out there that you can get them to be in a mentorship program, in men that are doing these things to help educate them and give them a better life than you had, so that they don't have to go through the same pain. So it also goes back to us, the pain that we went through, we have to deal with it so that our kids don't deal with that pain.
Straight.
Because a lot of people, like you said, your mother took certain things out of you because you look like your father. You know what I mean? And I could never. But at the end of the day, I'm not judging anyone. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Like I said, we as human being, you
Yeah.
know, not
Yeah.
everybody could, you know what I mean, abstain the power of control, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? They got a lot of persons lash out in different
Right.
ways,
In
you know what I mean?
different ways.
Some would get licked, would beat them children, some would
Yeah.
starve the child, you know what I mean?
Right.
Different kind of thing, you know me punishing the child for sit down upon nail and concrete and brick and all them strummings. I telling you, I got some friends when them man share some fucking story with all them all they used to get some licks. I used to say,
Wow.
bye, this not licks, this real, this cruelty.
Cruelty.
You know what I mean? Oh, you could
Right.
do how could I do it to me kids them? Like,
Right.
come on, bro.
Right.
I'm trying to teach you. I'm not trying to kill you and do
Right.
them kind of thing to you.
Right.
Oh my, hey.
And that's why I said we gotta. It's a different time to where
Yeah,
we
man.
look at all the slackness and the lawlessness, and we doing all this stupidness, and we think everything is funny. And but at the end of the day, you gotta go home and lay in your bed by yourself, and you gotta think. So right now, everybody might be laughing and glorifying you, and you know what I mean, and it looks good. But you gotta go home and raise, and you gotta go there, sit, and you gotta think of your
Straight
thoughts.
up.
You know what I mean. So a lot of people are going to so many different things to try to run away, so that's why you might see them outside every night because they're trying to run away from their thoughts. You know what I
Real talk.
mean?
Straight up.
So they don't want to face
Hmm.
the pain or face the demon or face what you've done. But you at some point you're gonna have to face it. And that goes to men and women. At
Got
some
face
point you're
reality.
gonna
I
have to face it.
got
So
the face
yeah.
reality.
So you might as well get to that place to where you
I,
you like you said
yeah,
and
man.
say, yo, I was wrong and own my wrong. You know what I mean? I will respect, and I always said I respect you more as an adult that's with integrity that can own your wrong.
Yeah,
We're
man.
not
This is it.
perfect.
This is it.
Nobody perfect.
That's it.
We all make
Mm-hmm.
mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But the great thing is when we can say, yo, you know what? I was wrong when it comes to parenting.
Straight up.
I didn't know, there's, like I said, there's ways
I
to
lack
get
a
help.
certain thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it
You
happens.
know what I mean?
It happens.
So having a
Uh,
stepfather and whatever, or and raising children, and they're doing great. So there's many children, many stars, many athletes that can say my stepdad did great. Shout out to Nika said, look, my stepdad still helped me to this day. You know what I mean? And I can say the same thing for me. So he's not my stepdad. I say that's my dad. You know what I mean? So beyond my biological dad, my uncles did a great job too.
straight up.
My mother's brother took the space to fill in the gap. So they are great men that are taking roles. So ladies, if the man don't want to be there, pray for the person, but knowing what you want, praying for the right person that's going to come in to help you. But at the same time, there's other programs, you know what I mean, that will help your child to be successful. At the end of the day, we don't want to keep raising fatherless fathers. So it's like you got to be honest with your kids too, because like, hey, even though your father wasn't there, even though your mother wasn't there, that doesn't mean that you can't have a life to where you have a family. You don't have to go down that road. It's just like, if your father's a drug dealer or a thief or whatever, or going jail, you don't have to go down that path. You can choose a different path to go down. So, but I have to steer my child in the right direction. If
Direction.
I'm not giving him or her the tools to succeed, and I'm just leaving them because I'm busy partying every night, or I'm doing this, and I'm what? No, so we still have to take certain responsibility for ourselves too and say, okay, let me evaluate my life. That's why, like I said, in a way, I'm glad that I have kids at a later age, because so much things that, you learn and you went through
Straight up.
certain experience already to where you can handle
And it's
situation,
beneficial for real.
yeah, a little
Because
differently.
not even cutting you, sorry, you know what I mean? Upon being with you.
Mm,
Because for those persons who don't know, my wife is 5 years big for me. So all of your kids are so smart.
mm,
And I feel like it's a situation whereby as you more older, you're more mature and you're more wise with life. I think
mm-hmm,
your kids them is end up feed off of the little knowledge
mm-hmm,
more faster. I think like, you know what I mean, the younger that you bring your kids them in life, because they got a lot of pregnancy that happened that female wasn't really even planning on getting kids early age. What
right.
I'm saying is that that is what I see with you and a lot of persons, especially you enlighten me upon the level whereby getting kids wrong your late 40s, early 40s late, because your first child was what age again?
38. Lexi
38,
was
right?
38.
All
Mm-hmm.
right, good. Your early 40s, good. This is your first child. Your second child was like,
Kingston was 44.
well, all right.
Mm-hmm.
It's right, man. Your kids them develop certain teachings, like you kids them smart, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and especially with what you do, job that you do, and how you articulate your life, how you is, you read a lot, You're a bright woman, you know what I mean? You went far in your school. You're a A driver. All these things this woman is, you know what I mean? So I feel like, you know what I mean, women that put themselves in the kind of field, and especially that bring kids like you're around your time and your age when get your child them, the kids them is develop a more better understanding, teaching,
Of
and learning
life.
procedure, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
in life, you know what I mean? Especially, you know what I mean, females that is does their on wildness and doing this, doing that. I see the most time their kids is come out whereby the head is hard for learn. Some of them is come out good, yeah. Depends on how much they proceed it. Cause they got some kids that is like the teaching like school would do, like when we went like see what name the thing
Graduation.
graduation, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
When there's a boy or the one girl we get
The boy.
by every minute the boy getting up on the stage.
Yeah.
I was saying, who's this banner by like whoever is he parents or whoever he make up his mind like, yo, I going to school for school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this banner does that every minute. If he named Joshua. I said, what?
Yeah.
He said, well, me daughter where I'll get an next call. Call me,
Right.
she ain't go up the road cause only one car she get up to know. And I hear Lexi again. And I say, all right, good. I'm satisfied now. At least you get two calls in this good. You know
Right.
what I
And
mean? But
and and then she got the
and the
presidential award.
presidential award. You know what I mean?
There you
So you know
go.
what I mean? All those just it teach me like that, yo, females, there's something from me, you know what I mean? Just focus in life, you know what I mean, on learning, um, putting yourself in certain places in different, you know, being somebody in life, you know what I mean? Just don't try to be a nobody. And you're gonna see better in in your kids also. I swear to God.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
definitely.
Big up Sean Shine Bright Thunder for real. He's a real G with that.
Listen,
But
I
I
want
love
to
how you
say
bring the
shout
kids, you
out
know?
to my mom because my mom was big on that. Education is the key. The same thing. She was always behind us with our books. But I'm just a I love to learn. I've always been that way, loving to learn new things, the hardest thing, the difficult things. You know what I mean? So I'm not afraid to try new things. So one of the things of me, I was always open. I can learn from anybody. So one of the things also in life is not to be judgmental of people. I don't go by what other people say about somebody else. I get to know people for myself, and that's always been my life. You know what I mean? So whoever you in their relationship with or you in their friendship with, that's them and you. But that doesn't mean that me and you gonna have that type of relationship based on who the type of person I am. So one of the things that I always do, I get to talk to people, but I listen a lot to people's story. Once you start listening to people's story, sometimes you'll hear their pain and then you'll know why they are the way they are. So then where you're not gonna be judgmental. You know what I mean? So you'll get to once you understand people's story, if they get to that point to where they trust you enough to where they can share certain parts of their life with you or their journey with you, then you'll see people's real story. So when then you'll have a different compassion in life for people. And then you'll see your life will start to be different. But if I can't trust you, you know what I mean? And whoever you're with and the situations you're with, like I said, in raising your kids,
Straight.
forgiving and we have to get to that place to where even now, and it's not just about, it's like, look, the other day, back in the day, we used to talk about there was nothing that you could have do in the street and somebody in the street and beat you or give you too lush, right?
You know what I mean? Real thing.
Right?
Put a knuckle in your head or
Yeah,
some
because they know you, especially they know where you
your
come up
parents
from,
and
and
them thing,
and it's
yeah.
like, why you acting this way? You remember when I was off the other day and I'm looking through the window and them two little boys walking down the street and they pants, they in elementary, they're probably like 2 years older than Kingston. And they're pulling the pants down. I said, pull up. I'm screaming through the window, pull up your pants. And feelings like, it's who you talking to? I said, them two little boys there. You know what I mean? So stuff like that, we got to
Straight.
get back. If I see kids fighting, I would go jump in like, hey, part this. What are y'all doing? So now people, we got to get back to that place to where we take care of each other. We can discipline other people, not beat them, It's even like the teacher called me the other day with Lexi, Miss Baby, and I told him, I said, I wish, I could have tell you beat her because I let you beat her. because I didn't send her to school to be disruptive. I sent her to school to learn. And that was one of the things the all the teachers that called me this. I wish we had more parents like that that gave us, the confidence to where, they want to see their children doing better. So I'm
Straight
not
up.
listening to what just I'm gonna hear what my child say, but at the same time, I know my child. So I know when he or she is out of line, I know what they're capable of doing. So if the teacher tell me certain thing, I know if they right and I know if they wrong. That's one thing with Lexi. Lexi can't hide nothing from me. She be looking at me like, how you know? Because I know you. You know what I mean? So we gotta go back to that place to where, we know our kids and we know but we don't give them right when we know they wrong. So it's just like me as a mother or a parent or even
Straight.
like your friends. You don't give your friends right when you know your friends are wrong. You know what I mean? You don't do that. So it's like, so regardless of if you have a raising a stepchild or you raising your own children, it's still parenting, because you will want somebody to do that for your kids. If they see your children going on the wrong way, it's just like even with somebody giving you music. The guy couldn't pass you straight and whatever, and he say,
Straight.
"Hey, come, let me teach you," right? But you will never forget that man. That man took you on and show you the ropes. So he was an influence in your life, a
Straight.
big part in your life.
Yeah, man.
And there's many men like that that see boys and put them in the right direction. You know what I mean? So tonight is definitely um it's not an easy topic. You know what I
No,
mean?
man.
It's not a full topic, but it's definitely a topic that we need to have. Like I said, everything that we bring on this platform is always to educate. Like I said, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna make laugh. Is situation we go through, situations that we know people go through, and but at the same time, it's like if you are a mother and you have a child, and that father is trying to be a part of that child's life. Like I said, if it's not where your child is in danger, you know, and you can find it in your heart, you know, let that father be a part of that child's life. And the same thing for the fathers. If you're not a part of your child life and there's no reason why you shouldn't be, but if you don't, when that child grow up, don't, you have to own that. You know what I mean? So we all have to own our mistakes in this life and say, so at some point, it's gonna come out. You know what I mean? And that child is going to know. But at the end of the day, we don't want our kids to keep suffering. We don't want to raise a generation of children that's just wild.
Nope.
You know what I mean? And we look we went to the fireworks, and um I was so mad because I said it was our children. They just running all over the place, lighting fireworks
Stupidly.
in a place where there's a whole thousands of people, and they started lighting fireworks and people started running. There's children, babies, strollers, and creating a panic, which is crazy, right? We're raising a generation. I don't know what generation this is, but it's like, how do we want to, we got to build the gap. We got to change certain things. We got to start looking at our own children and seeing if we're present, because sometimes we're so busy working. It's like today the kids school closed because of the fire in Conyers. So our schools were closed. And I made sure, so she's like, my work is not done, it's not due. But I said, you need to be ahead of the class. And I sat there with her today. I was off today, and I said, come, let's do it. What you need help with. And sometimes we just gotta take a minute and sit with our kids and say, let me see what you're doing. Let me see what you're doing. What's going on? Let's have this
Straight.
conversation. Don't just put them in front of the phone, in front of the iPad, and or in front of a video game. And then I came home last night after the roads were closed, right? And everybody's sleeping, and I'm sitting at the table because I still couldn't sleep. And I'm on TikTok. Now I don't normally go on TikTok, right? So I'm strolling on TikTok, and it's 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning, and all these people on TikTok, and I was like, and I'm just strolling, right? They live and doing all these craziness. I was like, this what these people be doing all night. You on TikTok live and just I said this generation is lost. We are lost. Whether we look for man, whether they doing tarot card, whether they play music, whether some of them singing, whether them playing the guitar.
I telling you. It's the weirdest time when you see some people on TikTok. I just be like, why can't do this?
This one cooking, this couple, the day she asking questions, he asking if the girl asking if I kiss, can I kiss your man, something, something. And I say to myself, why would you people put your partner in a position like that? It was just crazy. And then so like when my name popped up because I was watching on the watch the cock page, and then one guy he's like watch the cock. He was like, oh, what kind of name is that? And then I just changed from his checker. They don't know if it's a male or female. I just have that right, but it's just I was just like, this is crazy. I don't really be like I said on the TikTok world, but it was just like, are we? What's wrong? You know, like what's wrong with us? I don't know. What you think is wrong? What are we missing? What are we lacking? What do you
Eh,
feel is missing or lacking?
mm.
What do you feel is missing or lacking in our life today?
Prayers. Yo, it's crazy indeed what you're saying. There's so much crazy things. What like if it's one thing I know from since I'm little and I'm growing up, my mom used to say you're gonna see some crazy things. You're gonna see some crazy things in life. You know what I mean? As time fly by and go by. You know what I mean? And these are the last days. So some things we see it does leave us traumatized. Like what really going on? You know what I mean? Like for instance how people just gravitate on negative more than positive.
Yeah,
If you come and you do a positive, let me you come, you know what I mean, and not bashing nobody, but
yeah,
let me you come and cussing and going on the internet. You would see how much views.
yeah.
You know what I mean? People adapt to so much drama on these kind of thing more than just a person coming and try to enlighten you. You know what I mean? But there's a life
Why is
go.
it that we love drama so much until the drama hit at your door?
Yeah,
See, it's always
that's what I'm
funny.
saying.
It's always funny when
Until when somebody
it's
get hurt.
it's always funny when it's somebody else until it's you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And like again,
or that
yeah,
too.
that and then it's like then you start seeing more and more situation coming out, more and more situation coming out. And it's crazy because it's very disgusting.
It's disgusting.
You know what I mean? So we're not teaching our
And that's the
young
next thing. Come back
people.
to we kids them.
Yeah, what
'Cause
are
a
we
lot of these
teaching
persons
them?
that you're seeing on social media going on,
They
their
have
parents, they got
kids.
kids. That's why I be saying like, what really your and like this that's the next thing it come down to is like nobody don't have that moral no more whereby they care about what the children see they doing or saying anymore. People just like fuck it, you know what I mean? Like, and that's crazy. It's like
Like who can cuss
you
out the
you
most?
know what I mean? Like, don't you think or don't you want your child to don't do the bad things that you did in life?
Right.
Or you want your child to follow the same, but it is supposed to be like it's
Right.
supposed to be. If I was a drug dealer, I don't want my son or daughter to become like that. If I was a murderer, robber, thief, because I go through whatever, I don't. This is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But now people just doing anything.
Yeah.
It's like when we come back and we saying that to men raising their son to be gallus
Yeah.
and raising the daughter to be princess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The son must have enough woman,
Yeah.
but the daughter must only got one man. It's wrong.
Yeah. That
Because
always
it gonna
bothered
come
me.
back to your daughter getting one of those scrubs, one
Right.
of those thugs.
Right. Right.
So you got to set the example from your son also.
Right.
It's just like it just like the you know what I mean. It's crazy, real thing. We live in a
Yeah,
society right now.
men
Bullshit.
really
I
need
swear.
to pay attention to their son and how you're raising your
Yeah,
son,
man.
because your son is going to be one of my daughter's husband, right? So I have two girls, and that's one of the things. So I'm not raising.
And look, you don't see this what happening now, Sean?
Yeah.
A lot of females gravitating to badman, scammers. These band of them are wearing a set of gold chain and some of them got artificial, them and never real. Band of got Go there in some spotlight or some got some name in his street or this is the things them who women gravitate into. And then when it come down to the end of it, these banners is bums. You understand? These banner them is bums because these banner them from any woman with there with banner like that, obviously these banner them there for multiple girls. They're not to know what, so you're not gonna be in a relationship long.
Right.
Seems like the females them don't even fucking care at this said moment with yo, I don't even business. I see you if you know if you see I seen this thing enough. A lot of females did nobody want a banner who got a normal 9 to 5 job that working for a particular kind of bread, willing to make you happy, willing to do for you, willing to love you. No. If me got this flashy banner, because everybody wants size up with somebody. Females trying to make a next female, hey, I got the top man, or I got a money man, or I got a scammer man. But you belittling yourself at the end of the day. Because sometimes he lashing you and the same girl with you there making style and popping style upon he lashing too.
Right.
You know what I mean? It crazy at this said moment is so banners and all. They got banners carrying feelings over girl where two, three other banner they lashing.
Right.
This girl done there in the world already, so you carrying and you want to kill a man and more than a man for this girl. But this girl done doing what she did doing. You humble gonna look for a perfect
Me a
girl in
day two
life.
men at the same
But you
time.
making joke in this
Sincere.
life, it is fucking life. In the white thing, Chancy is saying that here, Chancy come out the other day saying that the females them say they can't even sing the song because they man want thumb them.
But it but I don't know. I
you
think like women are tired too. I think like, we don't
well,
much.
is that could be
Yeah,
all the
that
two.
too. I'm gonna give, and I went through that when
No, but at the end of the day, what I'm saying,
yeah,
even if you're tired,
yeah,
we understand that.
yeah,
But do not blame it on men.
yeah,
Don't blame and say, well, man is this, a man is that. If you also make up your mind for don't give a F,
hmm,
you just want to live your life, you want to live with this top man, this thing man, you don't give a damn. Or we understand. Like them say, like Bob Marley sang, say, every man got a right to decide his own destiny.
hmm,
But in his judgment,
hmm,
there's no partiality.
hmm,
So them is true, you gotta listen and learn.
hmm,
In your judgment, I
hmm,
mean, you want to be a fish,
hmm,
yeah. You want to be where, but wherever judgment come with, though,
hmm,
this is it come back to what he's saying. If the man in then your lifeline because you got the right to decide your own destiny, if this is you want, so the man does hit and run or the
yeah,
girl does hit and run, you
mm,
got to face your judgment.
mm,
Because in your judgment, there's no partiality. You got to feel it.
mm,
This is what Bob Marley says. So them is song them that teach me. You know what I mean?
mm,
Every man got a right for decide your own day. You could do what you want, be who you want. But whatever judgment coming with it,
hmm,
just know you could hold it. Just know you
hmm,
could rock with it. This
yeah, yeah.
visualization.
And I think women been rocking with
You
it
know what
for
I
a
mean?
long
Yeah,
time. Like
yeah,
I
man.
said,
Yeah, man.
majority of women that I know personally
Of course.
are great women, and they've went through a lot, and there were times where they was like, hey, we just tired, we just gonna be by ourselves, we gonna do what we want to do, but that doesn't mean that they don't want
Yeah.
another man. But
Real
it's
talk.
hard, and even to choose now, the pickings are thin, right?
Straight up.
The pickings are thin for women, so because then we gotta decide if they're bi, if they're this, if they don't like work,
It's
if they're
crazy.
abusive, if all these things. They might not like the kids. It's a lot to
Yeah.
choosing a male now, and most of the male, I don't most of the men I hear, they don't want to get married no more. And then the ones that might that want to get married, they might be nerdy, or they might, I don't know,
Okay.
they might have something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you said, they everybody want the top boy, the top girl, whatever. But I tell people, top boy, top girl, bun is bun. You don't have
No, no, I was coming to that because
It don't
growing
have
up
size.
growing up before even going into relationship, I used to think there was levels to relationship, whereby
Yeah.
I used to always feel like the popular people or the people with the money relationship last is more
Shh.
longer than the normal set of people.
No.
And then I get to understand and see with my own eyes, even them go through the
It's
same
same
thing
problem.
like everybody else. So the
Yeah.
relationship does not, stick on no one level, whereby it's only this type of person get the benefit of love and affection through the rest of the
But
life.
it's
Every
rare. It's rare that you will find that one man or
Yeah, of
that one.
course.
You'll find more women that
Of
will stay
course.
loyal, but it's rare to find that one man
Of
that is
course.
going to be a
Yeah.
100% loyal. Now he might get to a stage where he's with you to where he's done
No
all his
lie.
playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And he's at an age now to where he's ready to settle. But in your earlier teens and stuff like that, we all gonna go through heartbreaks, and those are things that we need to teach our kids too. There's things are gonna come, but you still gotta choose. You gotta know how to pick. You know what I mean? So it's like you said, we're not raising our children to be this.
Mm.
Men have to stop raising their sons to be gallus. You know what I mean? We hear it in the music
Come
and we
back to
think
that.
it's cool and we think it's all this
Come back to that.
until
Of
it comes to
course.
your daughter.
Of
And then your
course.
daughter is being married to somebody
Real
else's
men.
son.
Yeah, man. Real men need to know that, because of, in a case like me, I know the amount of heart that I broke growing up. I don't want my child and I got some men go through real horrible times in life, whereby woman merely kill them in their sleep, burn them in them sleep because of the
Mm-hmm.
woman. You know what I mean? Don't the cartel sing about it when he said shot, he fling off of me with a knife. They got,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So obvious after that time, you don't want your son to go down the road, because you
Right.
know what the road brings.
Right.
So why still you would try to bring up your son to be a gallus, and know that being a gallus, it got a real lash back with it. You know what I mean? Cause not every woman is take certain things in these
Mm-mm.
time. You know what I
Not me.
mean?
Because I'm raising mine to swing bats and
That's what I'm
knives and stuff
saying.
after your sons
That's
if
what I'm
they
saying.
complain they shit.
So come back to the same thing with the fathers them. Try to, or teach your children them, or the mothers them teach your children them, the things them that you don't want,
Yeah.
the mistake them that you made, you don't want them to go down that same road. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Straight up. Even if even if still at the end of the day, you're banning them from doing it, depends on certain mistakes. If it's horrible, if it's so horrible, whereby it was physically um painful, whereby you get hurt with certain thing, and we understand. But we're not speaking about, like, all right, good, a business. I went into this box business.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes my son end up coming and say, Daddy, you Skype by the sea. Come. No, don't do that. No. Those are
Mm-hmm.
next things get a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
Don't condemn me. Remember now, you mistake mightn't be me mistake.
Right.
But it depends on, like I said, it depends on is what really, if it's so
Mm-hmm.
cruel. But like, don't no, not show you a liver guy, and this is the father come with this thing, because at that said moment that you don't got an idea with what wrong you did. So
Mm-hmm.
even if your son say once it's beneficial, your son say, yo, I want to do this business, daddy. They got some parents is condemn cause no, no,
Yeah,
don't
it's
do
not
that. Not
gonna work.
because I did. No, sometimes your son go and do the same little work, and you would see the benefit we he get.
Right.
It's all about showing them, teaching them, letting them know. Like I teach Lexi. I said, Lexi, play, please come bring Nene. Daddy, where's the? I remember
Mm-hmm.
she's American girl. I said, who don't like hear is feel. She's like, and then the other day, when she end up doing thing now and she feel it, he should
Mm-hmm.
come and tell me, Daddy, I now see his way when saying when you used to
Mm-hmm.
said that. I say, you see? I say, who don't like hear don't is you don't like hear is feel.
Mm-hmm.
So don't mean that when you don't like hear mommy talk to you, what's up? Yes, I say, all right. So
Mm-hmm.
them is the thing that, you know what I mean? Them is the thing with cheering them is just one. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Don't crucify them, but still they got to feel it. They got to feel it is the end of the day, because I'm not gonna tell my child it's gonna be all beautiful in your life.
Right.
No, you're gonna go through things in life. You're gonna go through things we're gonna build you or break you. You gotta be the man or the woman now for make it be beneficial and make it bring you out to be the perfect person. Because I know that people that go through so much worse thing
Right.
turn out to be that outstanding person that they like today,
Correct.
because why they was teached.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Real thing. So at the end of the day, me not gonna sugarcoat nothing to me cheering them.
You
You're gonna
gotta
go
teach
through
them to
things.
be strong
Yeah,
because you don't want them
real
because they
thing.
have kids that's committing suicide. They got kids that's
What?
going and shoot up the
Uh-uh.
school. There's so many different
Straight up.
ways that they can deal with their anger and different things like that. So you do have to
You
educate them.
got to.
You know what I
You
mean?
got to.
So and that goes for both sides.
Hmm.
But parenting, like I said, on both ends, they need it. So whether they have a stepdad or they have their biological
That's
dad,
it.
whether they have a stepmom or their
Hmm.
biological mom, it doesn't matter. It helps. You know what I mean? It helps as part of their success. You know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, if it's a situation to where it's abusive, no, well, yeah, no. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna condone you being in a situation like that. But at the end
No,
of the
straight
day,
up.
it's like parenting is something that we all have to sit down and think about. We have to look about our life, what we went through, what we don't want our kids, and we have to have real conversation. It's no longer a time to where we hiding stuff from our kids and trying thinking that we're saving them. We're doing them more harm because they're open to so much more than we were. There's a time to where even sex and all these different things, you have to have these real conversation. So if you're not teaching your kids of what to expect from a man, what to expect from a woman, because a man needs to teach his son what to expect from a woman too, not just what I mean, not just the mother, both sides. You know what I mean? What to look for in a wife, what these girls not to pick, because there's horrible girls out there too. So I'm
Of course.
I'm not gonna sit there and make like all women is perfect. No, there's horrible women.
Of course. We
You know
see
what I
that.
mean? So we have to know what we want for our kids, and we have to teach them the both aspect of life. And as parents, we owe it to our children. If you decide to have children, whether you were young or old, it don't matter. You decide to have them, it's your responsibility. You know what I mean? And that goes to mother and father. So again, tonight is about the fatherless fathers, children, daughters, us being better parents, being better humans, you know what I mean? And you guys will always hear me say that over the years, like Feelings said earlier, I'm a great person
Hmm.
and I love who I am, but we want others to be better. I don't want you to be me, but I want you to learn from your mistakes and own your mistakes. That's the only way we're going to be better. So, again, shout outs to everybody that's on the live right now.
Yeah,
If
man.
you are a father,
Love
if you're a
tonight.
mother, shout
Hmm.
outs to Fiya Feelings for being my special co host. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Chiming in the back end. That's
Yeah,
the
man.
technician. You know, um, he was trying to set up everything in the living room and the
Oh, well,
time
we could bring it.
just
Yeah, it was
caught
too
up with
late.
us, so we started a little late tonight. So
Hmm.
we have other different things and stuff like that, different forms that we're going to bring, but we're choosing, I'm choosing this side because I want to leave is an impact in us being a better people. You know what I mean? So that's always been my goal in life, and whatever I do is always, I'm mindful of what I do because I know how what I do can affect someone good or bad. So I would rather know that it affects you good than leave a bad taste in your mouth. You know what I mean? So it's not for us to deliberately hurt people or set up to hurt people, but are we human? We make mistakes. Yes. Can we own our mistakes? Can we apologize? Yes. So those are things that we were talking about tonight. So tonight is, again, go back and reflect over your life. Like I said, if you have children, we got to do things differently because they're exposed to so much. There's so much coming at them, will continue to come at them, especially in this social media age. Like I said, I was on TikTok at 3 o'clock in the morning and I see all that craziness. I was like, whoa, I don't even know if I want my daughter to be on TikTok anymore. Because after the creeps I saw last night at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was but it is the world we live in, correct? So again, shout outs to all our sponsors. I want to say shout outs to Sliderz cornhole bags. So if you need, your cornhole bags, definitely you can have that. Um, it's a good family fun activity in your home. They also build the game board for you to be able to do that. So that's something special. Definitely go to ffviberadio.com and click the link. I'm also going to post them on watchthecock.com to where you guys can click the link to order your cornhole bags. Shout outs to 4B Bartending, Buff Beer, Brews, Beverage. That's them. So if you need a bartender in Atlanta, 4B's is for you. As well, shout outs to T Mobile. If you are in the business for a phone, T Mobile is the service for you. Shout outs to Katie's African Hair Braiding. They are in Decatur, Georgia. So if you need your braids done, she's definitely the braider for you. Again, we are thankful for everybody for tuning in. Shout out to all our subscribers. Continue to like, subscribe, and share. Hopefully, if you guys have a topic, like you said, whatever your content is, if you have a
Yeah, man.
business and you want us to advertise for you, we will definitely do that for you. If you want to showcase your talent, we have some artists coming up. I'm going to
Yeah, man.
showcase their music as well. So we're going to bring that to you. So we're going to have different things on this show.
Yep.
So
Look
again,
forward, man.
shout out to all the fathers that's doing an amazing job. Shout out to all of the stepfathers that's doing an amazing job. Shout out to all the uncles that's doing an amazing job. So we want to celebrate you guys, and shout outs to all of the foundations that are mentoring kids and filling in the gaps. So for all of you guys that are doing that, we want to say thank you. For all of the fathers that is not doing their job, get yourself together.
Get yourself together, man. Eh,
And
yeah,
shout
do
outs
you?
to the mothers that's doing an amazing jobs of raising children by
Yeah, man.
themselves. And for those women that are teaching hate between the fathers, get yourself together.
One thing I
So
know, one thing I always know, if you're unwilling to do the job, they got people out there willing to do the
uh
job for you.
hello.
So, you know what I mean? Thank you. At the end of the day, this is it. If you want to do the job, it's okay. But when they got people falling for you, don't get vexed. Don't
Right.
decide then to do the job. It's gonna be too late.
That part.
So yeah, man, we love you guys. Do remember to follow Watch Your Cock on TikTok. Also, you understand Facebook. You don't know what going, smash that subscribe button. We want to shout out to all the subscribers who been there from the very first start. We are 300. Definitely trying to reach that 1K. So you don't know what's up, man. With your help, remember the things that we need you to do. We need to give the video a thumbs up, and we need you to smash that subscribe button. Now the thumbs up is very important because what happening, it works with the algorithm. It makes the video reach out to more persons. So the more thumbs up you give the video is beneficial for the channel growth. All right. So thanks again, man. You know the
Good night. Peace and love.
vibe. I got you, boo boo. Peace and love, guys. Yeah, man. We out here. So shine bright. It's always a
Yes.
pleasure being here with you.
Well, thank you for being my co-host, and definitely don't forget www.ffviberadio.com if you are a DJ and you need a
Yep.
platform to
Hmm.
showcase your skills and your talents. Definitely FFI Radio have slots open for
Anywhere
you.
around the world. Yeah,
If
man.
you have a business and you want sponsorship, you want advertisement, definitely FFI is the radio for you. If you have an event and you need a DJ, Mr. International himself, Fiya
Yep, I'm
Feelings
here,
is
man.
definitely the DJ.
Birthdays, weddings,
Right.
graduations, you name it. We
Everything.
we right
Kids
here.
parties,
Yeah, man.
corporate events. He's definitely that
Hmm.
international DJ.
Definitely, man.
Yes. So again, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Good night. Be safe. Don't forget to love each other. It's a
Yeah, man.
difficult time we live in, and we definitely want to teach love and spread love to our children so that they can be better humans. Yeah, better than us, cuz we going too far. We are.
We out.
So good night.